Hello, and we're back for Dynamic GT League's Red Bull Junior Championship Race 1 of 9, and Race 1 is coming up straight away. Bit of information for the Red Bull Junior Championship: the cars are tuned to the maximum, the tyres are available at the Racing Super Soft, Softs and Mediums, the tyre wear is on times 18, race night is on Thursdays. And the tracks we can see on the left hand side of the screen there: Red Bull Ring GP is going to be race 1 with Brazil. Race 2, however, let's see how the drivers got on in qualifying. Unfortunately, we can't actually see the qualifying session, but we can see the qualifying order. So is Demon R on pole? No, he's not. Dave the Harp takes his first pole position in the DGT League, with Demon R in second place, and then SGP in third, Hulkenberg in fourth, Twilight in fifth, Jason sixth, Steve F1 in seventh, Fluffy Planet, a new driver, in eighth, Jay Bunsell in ninth, Rich Blues in 10th, Groover in 11th, SRI with technical difficulties in 12th, and Formula Gary in 13th, with a few drivers that were expected to turn up not making the race, unfortunately. However, I hope they do make it for round 2. Anyway, it's been a few weeks since the DGT League commentators have been going at it at the racetrack, so I think it's time we hand over to the commentary team. So the drivers are ready then. Dave the Harp sitting on pole position, Demon R, two-time champion, in second place, SGP and Hulkenberg right behind them, and away they go. It looks like a good start for Dave the Harp. Hulkenberg a little bit too much wheel spin though.
Yeah, it looks to me as though the pink car in the background, which is Fluffy, didn't even get off the line.
I think you're right there. Twilight, though, he's definitely going over a few lines, that's for sure, but he's also facing the wrong direction. But heading up to turn 2, we've got Dave the Harp, Demon R next to him, sneaking past to take the lead. Hulkenberg and SGP right behind him, and Hulkenberg going up the inside, taking the tighter line around turn 2. Can he make it work? Yes, he can. Just.
He can, but he's really boxed in Demon R, and that's allowing SGP now to try it round the outside, and he's actually in the slipstream of Dave the Harp here, is SGP.
That he is, so SGP up into second place here. Oh no, he's not, because Hulkenberg's wanting that position. Can SGP do a bit of a switch back though? He might be able to, but then he'll be on the outside of turn 4, and you don't want to be on the outside of turn 4. Can Hulkenberg hold on to it? Yes, he can.
This is so close. SGP's rubbing his paint off that nose cone, and Dave the Harp, he's starting to pull a bit of a gap.
He is, and there's also a bit of a gap forming from 4th to 5th. Groover in 5th at the moment. But yeah, Dave the Harp has been phenomenally quick in qualifying, and he's starting this race like an absolute bat out of hell, as SGP is all over the back of Hulkenberg going round the final corner. Is he going to go for the move into turn 1, or is he going to go for the more sensible option of waiting until up into turn 2?
I think Demon R may go for this. He's really close behind SGP. He's pulling out.
Oh, that's SGP. Chucks it up the inside. Does a Hulkenberg on Hulkenberg. Oh, and Hulkenberg. Ooh, that was a bit close to losing a rear wing and a front wing.
Yeah, he almost lost the rear end, and but he's trying it back on SGP, up in towards turn 2, up the inside, on the brakes. Oh, he's got a touch deep, and that's allowed SGP to do the switch back, and a bit of a love kiss there.
That he has. Now, these Red Bull Juniors are absolutely fantastic cars to drive, and the tyres available are the super soft, the soft and the mediums in these cars. Oh, SGP covers the inside line on this occasion, gets Hulkenberg all out of shape, and Demon R sweeps through to take 3rd place, may even be attacking SGP to take 2nd. Yes, he is, but he's going to be on the outside of turn 4.
Yeah, you can try it round the outside, but it's a very risky move, and you've really got to put faith in them wings on them cars. But yeah, there's a massive gap between P1 and P2, and an even bigger gap now between P4 and P5.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Dave the Harp's having an absolute blinder at the moment. He's not led many races in the Dynamic GT League, but he's absolutely storming away with this one at the moment. It will be helping him, the fact that these guys are battling, though. James' Demon R is looking at attacking SGP into turn 1, but no, he hasn't got the straight line speed.
Yeah, but they've got such similar pace. But Demon R there, he's tucking back in. I don't think James Hulkenberg were expecting Demon R to tuck back in, and James Hulkenberg had to get on the brakes early, and that's allowed Demonar a little bit of breathing space, and he can just focus on SGP. And the side by side now heading up to turn 2.
That they are. You say you can focus on SGP, but when Hulkenberg's around, you've got to focus on him as well. Hulkenberg's had a great run through turn 2. Demonar runs a little bit wide, so SGP, Demonar almost side by side, but Hulkenberg's going to find himself a little bit boxed in here, going for the gap between the two cars, but the gap disappears, and that's the grass. That's a new noise I've made up, by the way.
I think he might need a new pair of undies there when he started braking on the grass.
Yeah, definitely. So this battle continuing on, and while these guys are fighting, it's letting Dave the Heart run away even more, and DGT League SRI, who's now in 5th place, is beginning to close that gap. Oh, SGP got sideways, Demonar got a little bit sideways. That's going to allow Hulkenberg to close in on them into the final few corners.
Yeah, Hulkenberg doesn't seem to have the same pace, but Demonar is just harassing the back of SGP, and they're just starting to pull away now.
Yeah, SGP ran a little bit wide, so Demonar going up alongside on this occasion towards turn 1, but this will allow Hulkenberg to close that gap in a little bit more, and they make a little bit, I was going to say bump wheels, but you can't actually see the wheels on this car. They're not wheels.
Yeah, they're not wheels, but that is James Hulkenberg. He's in P4, and we're going to go 3 wide as we're heading up towards turn 2. Who's going to come out on top?
Dave the Heart.
Oh, the braking Demonars have got a really tight line. James Hulkenberg taking it round the outside, left the car's width. That was nice. And SGP's been left for 4th place there.
That he has. A nice bit of racing from these 3, and I mentioned about SRI starting to catch up, and there he is, and not only is he catching up, so is everybody else behind them. Hulkenberg going up the inside into turn 3 once again. Demonar hung out on the outside. SGP could benefit here. Ooh, this is getting very interesting, James, and that pack behind is really starting to close in on these guys.
It is, and Demonar up the inside now. That could be the ticket, but no, James Hulkenberg trying it still on the outside, but yeah, Demonar there taking no prisoners, and there he is up into P2. SGP almost mounted the back of James Hulkenberg there.
Yeah, he carried so much more speed through those corners then. Oh, Hulkenberg having a cheeky look up the inside, so heading on to the 5th lap, and where's Hulkenberg?
Hulkenberg's in the pit.
I didn't see him for a moment, then I thought it disappeared. So Dave the Heart then leading the race at the moment. He has got an absolutely monstrous lead at the moment. It's about 6 seconds.
Yeah, that fighting really has hindered them 3, and luckily for both SGP and Demonar, Hulkenberg is a fair few cars behind them now, and he's just exiting the pit lane is James Hulkenberg.
Yeah. Now I mentioned that SRI was catching up to the pack, and he really is. He's pretty much on the back of SGP now, and he's bringing Steve F1 with him. Oh, Butzel, big sideways. Ooh, those M&Ms just got a little bit mushy.
Just a bit, yeah, and that all came down to accelerating on a sausage never works.
It doesn't. It's like trying to run on a banana skin. It's never good. Okay, so looking at Twilight now, then sitting in 6th place with the 1721 Lancers all over his car. Got Steve F1 ahead of him. Now, I am aware that Steve F1 is not a big fan of this particular racetrack, James, so in a way, it is a surprise to see Steve F1 down in 5th place at the moment. Did someone just pop a wheelie?
Yeah, I think it was SRI popping a wheelie on one of the curbs, and that's just allowed Steve F1 to get really, really close to him. And there is Formula Gary in P8.
Oh, yeah, Formula Gary running a little bit wide though. Can he keep it on? Oh, trying not to go sideways. Rich Blue's getting a little bit loose around the final corner as well. This is starting to get a little bit busy. I mean, I know we didn't see these guys much for the first 4 or 5 laps, but to be honest, with the battle we was having up at the front, oh, is that Groover? Groover's ran wide. Yeah, that's going to allow Formula Gary to really close up the gap. And I've got to say, I do like the livery on Formula Gary's Red Bull.
Yeah, it's very nice indeed, but we're going side by side still with Groover and Gary. Gary's going to have to try and hold it. No, that's a pretty easy move there, and Gary's non-existent wheels are confusing me when they're looking static as they're going round. I much prefer it to be just circles rather than static wheels. They really do confuse me.
Teeth.
Oh, big teeth, yeah. At least they don't confuse me.
Yeah.
This midfield pack is just so close.
I've got a feeling this is going to be... I mean, the pack has always been a feature in the Dynamic GT League. I think in this particular championship, the racing is going to be considerably closer. I mean, look how close everybody is. This is absolutely mental. I say that, but then look how far ahead Dave the Harp is. But yeah, so, for example, if Dave the Harp wanted to pit, he's coming out in or behind the pack, which means if anybody else wants to pit, they're coming out behind the pack. And proof of that is Hulkenberg pitted 2 laps ago, and I think he's still he's only just sort of gone to the back of the pack. Is he in the pack? He's in.
I think he's just behind Fluffy.
There he is.
Car
yeah,
there.
He is. So in 12th place.
So yeah. But the main thing is just not to be losing time. SRI's just run wide there in turn 1, and that's allowed Twilight and Steve F1 through. But yeah, Steve F1 doesn't like this circuit. There you can see SGP and Demon. James Hulkenberg in the background behind Fluffy. Fluffy's lost it! Fluffy lost it there in the background, and I think he may have just T-boned somebody. I'm not too sure who the innocent victim were there.
I'm not sure either, unfortunately. I couldn't tell. I was too busy listening to your excited commentary, James.
But yeah, so there is Twilight and Steve F1. James Hulkenberg's now in P8, and he's trying to make his way through the pack. And I've got to say, SGP and Demon are only a couple of seconds in front of Steve F1. There is James Hulkenberg in P7. Up the inside, is that I'm trying to work it out. Is that Formula Gary? I think he's up the inside of.
I think it was, yeah. It looks like as well SGP is just dropping back a little bit from Demon R, not a lot, but it does look like Demon R's into the pits. I was going to say, it does look like Demon R and SGP were beginning to close in on Dave the Harp a bit, but Demon R's decided to go for the pit lane. So we're about 10 minutes, so that's about right for Demon R, isn't it? 10 minutes he's going to pit.
Yeah, and James Hulkenberg right on the back of Twilight now for 4th place as Demon has in the pit lane. And I've got to say, Twilight run wide there, but hopefully he's not been able to carry too much speed.
The interesting thing, something I want to know about, James, is Hulkenberg pitted right on end of lap 4. How far ahead of Demon R is he now?
He's a fair way, because Demon R's only just coming out of the pit, and James Hulkenberg's just heading out of turn 2, so he's probably the full length of between turn 1 and turn 2, which is pretty much the longest straight on the circuit.
Yeah, so that kind of shows us Hulkenberg goes up the inside of Twilight realising he was there. I know Twilight has been working a lot on his driving in these cars recently, making some very good progression, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on throughout the course of this race. But yeah, so the undercut is absolutely enormous around this track. Dave the Harp has not pitted yet, but Demon R has, meaning that if the undercut is enormous, we could be seeing Hulkenberg, Dave Harp's into the pits, we could be seeing Hulkenberg leading this race, because Hulkenberg will be ahead of Dave the Harp, and Demon R may be ahead of Dave the Harp.
Yeah, possibly. And there is Steve F1, he's run a bit wide there in the final corner. This could give James Hulkenberg a run. I think he's definitely, he's alongside, he's not going to give up here. So as we go under braking for turn 1, got to keep enough room for Steve F1, and he's through. But is Steve F1 close enough to get back in the slipstream? I don't think he is, but Twilight's close enough. Yeah,
and Dave Harp is only just now coming out of the pits, and he is behind Demon R. Demon R is the car ahead of Dave the Harp, but it's quite a distance ahead. SGP has not pitted yet, so he's leading, but Hulkenberg is actually closer to SGP than Dave the Harp is to Demon R.
Yeah, I think, unfortunately, though, there for Demon I just got run onto the sausage, and there we can see Jason. I think that's the first time we've seen Jason there in the Subaru, which is very nice.
A car's just disappeared.
Somebody's just, either that or they've just gone for a lovely drive through the gravel. Demon Art there in the green Jaguar, being hunted down
Dave
by
the
the Williams livery.
Twitching. He's in. That looked a bit odd. He was twitching a lot through the corner there. Who's that coming under pressure? Is that Bunsell? Yeah, Bunsel's coming under pressure from Demon R. And not only that, SRI has pitted, and he's right up the gearbox of Demon R as well.
Yeah. SRI, if he's pitted already, he's in an absolutely fantastic position.
Side by side with Groover. Well, you know what, guys? That's a lovely bit of driving. That is around the final corner, side by side, no contact and not going off. That's some good stuff. That is. SGP has pitted, by the way.
So if SRI is already pitted, does that mean that he's running in front of Davey Arp? So yeah. I'm not too sure what lap SRI pitted, but he's come out of nowhere. I mean, he was in P5.
Yeah.
He's done fantastic. And
I saw it in the background for a moment. I think Dave Hart was coming under pressure from Groover. So there's SGP. So SGP is a couple of positions behind Dave the Harp, although Dave the Harp has had a little bit of a spin. So I don't know if SGP's had a very slow out lap or just lost a considerable amount of time doing the extra lap in comparison to Dave the Harp. Groover and Ridge Blues going side by side. Jason coming under pressure from Demon R. Demon R on the fresher tyres having a sneaky look up the inside, and Jason's ran wide. That's for Demon R. That's thank you. See you later.
Yeah, so Demon R, that's exactly what he needed, because he needs to hunt down James Hulkenberg. He's on way fresher tyres than Hulkenberg, but he's still got Twilight to contend with, and there is SGP on the brand new fresh tyres, and he's hunting down Dave the Harp, and I think he'll be quite happy seeing that Dave the Harp's not too far in front of him now. Yeah,
definitely. I had no idea as Twilight heads into the pits to get rid of his super soft tyres, so does Jason. I'm interested to know what Hulkenberg's doing on his strategy, because he pitted at the end of lap 4 and hasn't pitted again yet, so I'm wondering if he's gone for different tyre compounds or something. I don't know. I mean, we're all Groover going deep. Big deep.
Yeah, he's managed to get back on the track, but that's just allowed Rich Blues straight through, and here comes Fluffy in the bright pink car. We can't mistake him there, but there is Steve F1 as well. Oh, Steve F1, he's last of the late breakers, but he's just got to watch out that he doesn't pile drive into Rich. And no, Fluffy, I think he just outbraked Steve F1 there, so that were really good driving there from Fluffy.
I was going to say, let's put Steve F1 and Hulkenberg next to each other, see which one breaks latest.
That would be a contest.
Yes.
Here we go. Groover's just lost out there as well. And what have you seen?
I saw a pink flash. I think that was.
I think Fluffy.
Yeah, I think Fluffy's had a spin. We've not seen it, but he was facing the wrong direction. Steve F1. He's getting attacking on his mate Rich, and nothing Rich can do there. Hung out to dry on the outside of the track. But yeah, strategy-wise, or Hulkenberg, this might tell us what's going on with Hulkenberg's strategy. Soft tyre. So he went super soft tyre to soft tyre. That explains why he's done a short stint and a longer stint. But what is that going to mean for the remainder of the race, James? Because where's he going to come out? I think James Hulkenberg could be throwing a few spanners in the works here for the likes of Demon R, SGP and Dave the Harp.
So I think Demon R, SGP and Dave the Harp are on a very similar strategy of just run for 10 minutes and then let's see what happens. But with James Hulkenberg doing such a short stint at the beginning, he's just out of sync, and we really need to see where James Hulkenberg is. There he is in the background. He's just overtaking somebody. I think it's Groover. But if James Hulkenberg's going to make this strategy work, he needs to get past this pack as quick as possible.
That he will. He's already passed one car there. Rich Blues Rich Blues is really getting close to the back of Steve F1. Steve F1 is used to battling a little bit further up the pack. Dave the Harp getting closer and closer to SRI though. Dave the Harp's tyres will be slightly fresher than SRI's, and SGP is still holding on to the back of them. Now, in previous championships, Dave the Harp and SRI have had a few door bangings, is one way to put it. So let's see how they get on here today. Are we getting the popcorn ready for this, James?
I think another one bites the dust needs to be playing as well while we're eating it. But yeah, here we go. I think Dave the Harp's going to have to shove it up the inside into turn 1, but that may compromise the exit. What's he going to do?
He was having a look, but wasn't quite confident to go late on the brakes there, but they both survived through turn 1, and that'll give Dave a good run up towards turn 2. Hulkenberg, though, he's already got through that gaggle of cars. He's now right behind Steve F1, so unfortunately we've not seen James making his way through the pack, but once James is past Steve F1, he's then back into that pack of cars of Demon R, SRI, Dave the Harp and SGP. So what's the gap going to be? It's not a big gap. I think Hulkenberg's in a very good situation here.
Yeah, just because of the freshness of the tyres is so much more enticing rather than trying to run long and look after them. I think that's the strategy that James is going for. He's trying to basically just provide himself with as much grip as possible. And Dave the Arp, talking about grip, he nearly lost the rear end there, a bit too much oversteer. But SGP on the freshest tyres of this top 4 is now all over the back of Dave the Arp. I think he's just going to get more and more frustrated knowing that his amazing gap that he pulled out at the start of the race has just diminished to nothing. Yeah,
definitely. You know what? Dave and SRI have done a whole lap without making contact. SGP will be sitting there thinking,
You've cursed it.
Do I go for it or not? And I may have cursed it. Or SGP's going to get boxed in here, Dave and Ray, and they get through turn 1 again. But their speed may be compromised, but I think SGP took a tight line as well. So yeah, Dave and SRI going side by side now up towards turn 2, and it looks like SRI is saying, nah, I'm going to defend the inside. No, he's not. He's going to leave the door wide open. Dave the Harp's going to go for it. SGP's going to follow him through.
Dave the Arp managed to slow that down very nicely indeed, but SRI's just accelerated on the sausage and was lucky there not to spin out. SGP needs to get on with this if he wants to mount a challenge to the leader of the race, because right now he's spent 3 laps just stuck behind these two.
Yeah, that he has. He's got the inside line here, but then SRI is going to have the inside line for the next corner. And to be fair, I've seen Ray practicing in this car. Ray is SRI, by the way. I've seen SRI practicing in this car, and he does seem to like this car. And that's one thing I do like about this championship, is with it being such a change of car, we could end up seeing different people fighting up at the front, or different people losing it down at the back. Just quickly mention as well, though, Hulkenberg, having got past Steve F1, is opening up a gap on that pack, and then is beginning, I can't get my words out, is beginning to close in as Demon R is into the pits. Yeah, 10 minutes have gone by, no surprise there.
SRI as well is into the pits, but I think unfortunately for Hulkenberg, he really needed to close that gap in a bit more. We needed to be seeing him in the background right about now as Dave the Arp finally regains the lead of the race.
Yeah, I mean, interestingly, Demon R was pulling away from second, third and fourth, a bit like Dave was pulling away from them at the start of the race. Where's Demon R going to come out? Sitting in 7th at the moment, and there's Fluffy, and there's another couple of cars. And a little bit of contact. That would be wide then. There wasn't any room. 3 wide to 4 wide, not going to work.
Yeah, Fluffy was pretty much in a position there where he was damned if he did and damned if he didn't. So unfortunately Demon R just came out at the worst possible moment there, but he needs to now just dispose of these as quick as possible, because if he gets stuck behind these for a lap, that could be the leader of the race gone.
Yeah, definitely. So up the inside of Twilight then, got very, very close, and I think someone may have lost it there. The camera angles aren't very kind to us as we have a quick look at Steve F1, who's coming under pressure from Jason. Let's see, Demon R has managed to get past a couple of the cars. He's got Fluffy ahead of him, a new driver to the Dynamic GT League. Demon R has a look up the inside, a bit of contact I think, and Fluffy goes for a little trip to the beach.
He does, but unfortunately he was up the inside there and he had nowhere else to go. SRI, he's now having to contend with Bunsell. Formula Gary and Bunsell. And SRI.
And it's still
going. Bunsell.
I think I'm not sure. I think Bunsell may have been trying to get to the pits there. I don't know. Either way, that was absolute carnage there, and that could be costly for SRI, because SRI was only a couple of cars behind Demon R and pitted at the same time. Up for the lead though, SGP, having looked after his fresher tyres, James, is now all over the back of Dave the Harp.
Yeah, and James Hulkenberg now probably about 4 seconds behind these two. We might just be able to see him in the background. There he is.
SGP's going for the move.
SGP, he's going for it. So this is for the lead of the race. SGP takes the lead of the race on lap 16, and Dave the Arp will not be impressed with that.
He definitely won't be. We all know the word that he would have said at that point.
It was probably ended in UCK, maybe.
Maybe.
But yeah, there is Formula Gary after that crash bang wallop with Bunsell. He's running in 7th place, and SRI, that was an awful outlap for him, and he's now stuck behind Twilight. He needs to get past Twilight as quick as possible because he was right behind Demonar. Demonar's now 4 seconds down the road.
Yeah, okay, Dave the Heart pits. So Demonar was about 4 or 5 seconds ahead of Dave the Heart when he pitted, so let's see what the gap is going to be this time around. Where is Hulkenberg? Hulkenberg's sitting in 3rd place at the moment, but he's going to be ahead of Dave the Heart.
Yeah, Dave the Heart's just pitted now for a set of super softs. So that's just put James Hulkenberg up to P2, and he needs to close SGP. Yeah, go for it.
SRI on Twilight, side by side they go into 2-1. We can see a car making its way around the exit of the pit lane, and it is Dave the Heart as SRI and Twilight go side by side, or nose to tail through turn 1. SRI makes the move, and he's just ahead of Dave the Heart. That was crucial for Ray, considering that he was involved in a big crash. That's crucial to still be ahead of Dave the Heart there.
Yeah, Dave the Heart, though, if he wants to challenge back, as he was overtaken by SGP, if he wants to try and get in front of SGP and win this race, he needs to dispose of these straight away, just like Demonar did. Unfortunately for SRI, he's only just got away, but now he's got Dave the Heart on fresh tyres hunting him down. Yeah, there's such a gap now between Demonar and SRI. It's a bit bonkers, really. So
look how many cars are on street there.
It's bonkers to say that literally 2 laps ago, Demonar and SRI was next to each other into the pit lane.
Yeah, I must admit, we're used to seeing a bit of a pack here, or in the Dynamic GT League. I don't know if I was expecting it as much as this. I mean, we're lap 17 of 29 laps, and pretty much P4 to P9, or within the space of 2 seconds.
Yeah, this is crazy right now. And Groover's defending there into the penultimate corner, and that's not really a corner you want to go defensive because you just compromised. Not only through that corner, but then the final corner, and now he's going in a bit of a sandwich with Steve and Jason. I think Jason might have a cracking move up the inside here, taking 2 places in 1 corner.
That's a lovely move from Jason, and that all came from, as you said, James, the penultimate corner. Groover's got a brilliant helmet, by the way. I don't know if you've seen it. If not, keep an eye out for it. But yeah, Jason, absolutely beautiful overtake there. I'm surprised Steve F1 wasn't able to make more of it as well, but he is now attacking up into turn 2, but the door was closed. Jason opened it again a little bit, but here now comes Groover. This is exciting stuff, this is.
Yeah, it's exciting, but my brain is turning to scrambled eggs right now as SRI's finally got Dave the Heart on his tail, and that's not something that I'm sure Ray or Dave would like. But here we go, Dave the Heart. Can he try it round the outside? This would be fantastic. Oh, he's done it easy on fresh tyres. That were a nice move there. But I really do think if Dave the Heart hadn't had that little bit of an issue earlier on in the race where he just ran wide into the gravel, he could have been so much further up the race.
Oh yeah, definitely. Hulkenberg into the pits once again. So let's see, 15 minutes left of this race. He's not going to be going that set of tyres to the end, is he, James?
I think he's going to have to do another pit stop after this, and that might just screw his day up. Because unfortunately, I think he's going to come out in this pack once again. He really needed to pull a gap big enough to pull out in front of this. Dave the Heart just lost the rear end there in turn 1. So once again, an unforced error there after making a nice overtake on SRI. He's just allowed SRI to come straight back at him.
Yep, that he has. I mean, SRI got a little bit sideways himself, but not as much as Dave, so side by side they go through turn 2. And you know what? You can tell that these two are really working on not hitting each other by the amount of space they're giving each other, look.
I feel like neither one wants to get too close, but unfortunately, as in most motorsport, the person that you see as one of your main rivals usually ends up on the same piece of tarmac. But here comes James Hulkenberg in the pack. He needs to get past these as quick as possible. He's all over the back there of Groover. Is he going for it up the inside? Oh yeah, he is, and he's even running Groover a bit wide as if to say thanks for making my life quite hard there.
Yeah, SGP pitting, but SGP was on the soft compound tyre. I hadn't spotted that, you know.
Right, so to say that SGP's pitting now, is he also going to have to do 2 stops?
I don't. I'm thinking he might be able to get to the end, because he's had a pretty long stint, I think, on that soft compound tyre. I mean, strategies. We've no idea how strategies are going to play out in this championship.
He's just coming out of the pit lane now, so if that's the case, James Hulkenberg's on the same strategy. Could James Hulkenberg here have pulled a masterstroke if he's going to try and go to the end?
Maybe, if they're both going to the end, then maybe. I honestly don't know what the strategies are here. I'm lost. Oh,
I'm lost as well,
2
Yeah, it's all going to kick. Oh, SGP got a little bit of a love tap there from Bunsell throwing his M&Ms at him, but that's just allowed Hulkenberg just to get in front, and there we go, Steve F1 and Jason.
Hulkenberg, it's a little bit late there. Bit of a tap on the back of Steve F1. That's caused a bit of a spin. That's costly for Steve F1, unfortunately.
I need to have another look at that. It looked to me as though Steve F1 had not covered the inside, and then as soon as Hulkenberg went for that inside, Steve F1 decided, I need to defend there, and unfortunately it just ended in carnage, but that's just allowed.
It's interesting though, that's not the way I see it. I see that as I saw what I thought, my eyes are dodgy, but I saw Steve F1 going for an overtake on Jason, Hulkenberg coming from 235 car lengths back up the inside, and unfortunately hitting the back of Steve F1.
Well, unfortunately, we haven't got a replay system, but we'll see what the stewards have to say.
I'm going to have to clip the video for that bit out.
But yeah, there is SGP. He's still in 7th. Hulkenberg's already up to P4. SGP, if he really wants to win this, he's going for it now. He's finally realised, if he don't get a move on, he's going to end up swamped by the pack. So he's made his way past Bunsell. I'm just thinking, I'd be surprised if James Hulkenberg goes to the end, because he has opted mainly for pitting more often than not and having just better tyres. Groover there, running wide, chewing up the lawn. And Jason's doing quite well now, and he's doing his typical thing of being quite anonymous in the first half of the race, and then near the end just coming alive.
Yep, we're coming up to the next 10 minutes, so Demon R, I'm sure, is going to be pitting, and he's like clockwork, is Demon R. 10 minutes pit. Dave the Harp, you know what, Demon R hasn't pitted. Somebody is in the pits though, that's SRI. SRI has been copying Demon R's pit stops today, so has SRI gone for an undercut? Now the undercut, which we've said, is massive around here, and SRI had definitely got himself into this the battle for the podium, that's for sure. Jason though is applying pressure on the back of Hulkenberg. Is Dave the Harp catching up to Demon R? It's difficult to say.
Yeah, unfortunately, because we can't see him on screen. I'm looking at the mini-map, and he is, but Jason's having a go now at James Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg's had to go defensive. It's normally Hulkenberg on the attack, but Jason's giving him a good run for his money here.
Yeah, and here comes SGP as well. You mentioned only, a lap ago that he needs to get a shift on, and he is doing, as Jason makes the move on Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg's looking over the inside again. That's a new noise.
Hulkenberg managed to make that, and that was right on the limit there, but Hulkenberg once again showing that he's formidable when it comes to overtaking and defending.
It's interesting what people would call the limit. If a tightrope walker goes just over the limit, he's dead.
Yeah, well, Hulkenberg's in 3rd, so he's not dead yet. When he ends up through a Tech Pro barrier with his head on a stick, that's when he knows he's gone too far. Jason into the pit lane. I'm surprised there, because Jason were giving Hulkenberg such a good run for his money there. I'm surprised he didn't just stay out for a little bit longer, because he clearly had the grip.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, Demon R leading the way. Let's see, he's gone past the 10 minutes. Dave the Harp sitting in 2nd place. He's going to be kicking himself at the moment, although I still don't know how their strategies are going to play out. Hulkenberg, are we looking at Demon R's got another stop to do, Dave the Harp has, so has Hulkenberg and SGP?
Maybe. God knows what's going on in the Reds. Mind you, God knows what's going on in Bunsel's head. He's all over the back Twilight, and Fluffy, I think he's just broke down there at the turn 2.
Oh.
No, he's hitting SRI, that's what's going on.
Yeah, obviously wanted a bit of iron brute.
A bit of a strange one. I think SRI, he must have just pitted recently, because
he did.
He were. Oh, sorry, I'm so confused with what's going on. I'm surprised the viewers can even understand what's going on either. But yeah, here is SGP now, and he's putting the magnets back on James Hulkenberg, and he's on 1 lap fresher tyres, so it's not too much, but looks to be just doing the job there through sector 2.
Oh, he's having a look at the inside towards the penultimate corner. There's a bit of contact between the two of them, but they're still fighting out into the penultimate corner. Things definitely getting physical between these two today.
Yeah, they must be getting friendly, but out of the final corner there's SGP. Yeah, Dave the Harp in the pits, and what's going to go on here into turn 1? Hulkenberg, he's looking up the inside once again.
Oh, but SGP's going for the switch back, is he? He is trying it, but he's going to have to tuck back into the slipstream with those wheels that do not move.
Yeah, so we go up towards turn 2. What is going to happen here? I'm not too sure. What do you think?
Up the inside. He's got to be on it. Oh, Hulkenberg leaving the door wide open there. I'm wondering if Hulkenberg's tyres may be going a little bit. I'm not so sure, maybe. I mean, you mentioned earlier, perhaps he's going on the full aggressive. That I think SGP is trying to tell Hulkenberg, you're not going up the inside of me into this corner.
Yeah, I don't think he could get any more far over to the right-hand side.
Oh, Hulkenberg losing it on the curb.
Yeah, that curb.
Oh,
He'll be cursing that curb.
That he will. Dave the Harp though, and SRI. So Dave the Harp has managed to get ahead of SRI through their latest round of pit stops. But look at how frantic this is. We've got Groover, Steve F1, Dave the Harp, Steve F1 trying to speed Groover up a bit. Jason's there as well. He's just pitted. SRI is there. This is absolutely mental.
Yeah, it's there's Jason. He's going on the gravel. What's Jason doing? Oh, Jason! I can't believe it. He just completely drove off onto gravel and then into everybody. He had a lot of pace. He just pitted for new tyres. We just ended up T-boning everybody there. That was mental from Jason.
Well, it is possible that carrying the extra speed through, and it doesn't like he's slowing down to let the drivers through there. I mean, to be honest, I wasn't really looking. All I saw was 4 cars trying to go around a corner at the same time.
Yeah, but I think Jason just pitted with brand new tyres. Yeah. Tried it round the outside, had a really good run, but then there were 3 cars in his way, and rather than backing off and waiting for a gap, he just kept his foot planted and ended up T-boning 3 cars. That was just carnage. I
mean, the thing is, the speed difference between a car on brand new tyres and a car on old tyres can be absolutely massive, as SRI is attacking Formula Gary down towards turn 3. And you know what, SRI's been in a few battles today, but he's definitely been having a very, very solid race, and Gary's making him work for this overtake. I just want to mention as well, it's been 15 minutes since Demon R's last pit stop, James. He ain't going to be stopping now, surely, is he? 5 minutes to go?
Well, he's going to be absolutely crying by the end of this race, though, because I don't think them tyres are going to end up getting to the end of the race. He's going to be lapping about 5 seconds slower than SGP.
Well, let's see. What's the situation at the moment? Okay, Demon R's leading. He's on what are now old super soft tyres. SGP's in second place on slightly old soft tyres, but they'll comfortably get to the end. As Groover going for the pit lane, is he? No, he's letting cars through. So SGP I think is going to the end, but there's a big gap between first and second. There is not a big gap between 6th, 7th and 8th though, or 9th, 10th and 11th.
I think Dave the Art's frustration level will be off the charts, as he's got stuck in the pack rather than being able to just demolish his way through the field. Unfortunately, he's about as sticky as Marmite right now, and yeah, that's not a good thing.
Oh, and he's got Hulkenberg behind him as well, who's going to try and make it 3 wide into turn 2. Hulkenberg trying that really tight line again, gives Dave the Harp a little bit of a nudge, but Dave just about survives. Rich Blues making a move on Fluffy Planet as well, and Jason right behind him. Hulkenberg having a look now on the outside. No, he's having a look on the inside.
Yeah, so this is one of the situations that Dave the Art did not need, with him being stuck in the pack. That's just allowed James Hulkenberg to pit for fresh tyres. He's on super softs right now, and he's just made the way through. Unfortunately, that's what Dave the Art needed to do, but unfortunately for him, he wasn't anticipating Jason steamrolling into the back of him.
That he wasn't. I'm having a look. This is so close. This is mental. Hulkenberg making a move on Bunsell. Dave Harp trying to sneak through as well. It almost looked like they were going to try and overtake the both of them there. But that's the difference of fresh tyres to old tyres. As Dave Harp side by side with Bunsell makes a lovely move there. Everybody staying on the track quite nicely there. Demon R leading the way though. That gap between Demon R and SGP is coming down dramatically, James. The gap was about the length of the straight they're on now. It's now about half the straight.
I'd probably say about a third of the straight. That is really coming down. So there's not long to go now. We've got Demon R P1, SGP P2, Twilight in P3.
What's he doing there? What corner's he?
What is he doing there? I think he's cut half the track. But yeah, there is Dave the Arp in P7. He will be gutted because there's not many laps to go now. But here we go. We've got James Hulkenberg. He's closing in on Formula Gary.
That he is. Formula Gary giving him plenty of room heading into turn 3. Has he seen that Dave the Arp is there as well? Yes, he has, because he's closed the door on him. It's interesting. I mean, obviously different drivers, different driving styles are going to affect. Or Dave making a nice move slipping through. I know you couldn't see it too well there, but he has made the moves, and so has Bunsell actually. Bunsell's followed Dave through there. I think Gary's tyres may be on their way out big time, and when they go, they really, really do go, which is why we're kind of on the mini-map seeing that Demon R is losing a massive amount of time to SGP, as we have a spinner at the fast S's as well. But this is absolutely frantic. This is 5th to 9th, all within the space of about half a second, as Bunsell trying to make a move on Dave the Arp. Every time Dave the Arp has tried to make moves forward, he ends up getting attacked.
Yeah, unfortunately, but as we've seen now with James Hulkenberg, as Fluffy goes side by side with Formula Gary in the background. Hulkenberg, he's lost the rear end. He's lost the rear end there out of turn 1, and unfortunately, Dave the Arp just drove straight into the back of him, and that's just put Hulkenberg behind Bunsell now.
And Dave's lost it again. I think he was taking avoiding action there to try and make sure he didn't hit the back of Rich Blues. So Dave the Arp finding himself in a whole world of trouble at the moment. Demon R though, I mean, for the first half of the race, it looked like he was nowhere near having a chance of winning this race, but now there's less than a minute to go, so I think the leader's going to have another lap after this one as Bunsell spins.
Yeah, Bunsell spun it, and some bad news here for Demon R. He's losing 4 seconds per lap, and he's only got 4 seconds over SGP. So this could come down to the wire. As Dave the Arp now on Rich Blues up the inside. So goes Fluffy. Oh no, for Fluffy, that were a bit of a fluffy ending there for Rich.
I think Rich saw Dave the Arp coming through. Unfortunately, didn't see the luminous pink Fluffy coming through as well.
Yeah, it's hard to see that.
I tell you what, this is the last lap. This is the last lap for these guys. This is for position. Hulkenberg does take 5th, then 6th for Dave the Arp, 7th for Fluffy Planet. So first, second, third, and 4th have still got the lap they're on to finish. Everybody else says they cross the line. That is going to be race over for them. So Demon R is still leading the way, but SGP is there. He's right there. Can't see him right there on the screen, but he is somewhere.
Do you think Demon R's just miscalculated this, not thinking that he was going to have to do this extra lap?
Well, I don't know. I think it's unusual for him to do more than 10 minutes on a set of tyres, so I'm thinking he has changed the strategy because of strategies other drivers have done, and it's forced him into a situation of doing 20 minutes on the super soft tyre.
This gap's coming down. It's now down to 2 seconds, and it was 4 seconds at the start of this final lap. So SGP is going to be so close. I think Demon R may just have this one in the bag, but it's going to be ever so close. Yeah,
2 corners to go. 1 corner to go. Look, SGP's closing the gap in the corners massively. So around the last corner they go. He's getting closer. Where's the finish line? Demon R wants the finish line. Is it come yet? Is it gone? Yes, it has. So it's Demon R first place. SGP second. Twilight taking his first ever podium in the Dynamic GT League, and DGT League SRI taking 4th place. Holy cow. Well,
I've got to say, you said Twilight's improved. Mm-hmm. That came out of nowhere for me. I'm baffled.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned in the race, as you say, that he has been working on driving this car, and I think it showed. We didn't see him a lot through the race. We didn't see him in a lot of action through the race, but maybe that was the key for it to him, avoiding any dramas and maximising the opportunities, and that's exactly what he's done. I mean, I have heard he's absolutely over the moon with that result as well.
Oh, it will be. I think the two biggest head scratchers there are both Dave the Arp and James Hulkenberg. They both had fantastic pace at the start of the race, and then it all just kind of fell apart. Hulkenberg had to do an extra pit stop, and if you think about it, really, I mean, if Hulkenberg didn't have to do that extra pit stop, he could have been so much closer to SGP, because he were only on tyres that were one lap older than SGP. So in a way, I think
Andy was ahead of SGP, so he could have actually been even closer to De Minaur than SGP was at the end.
Yeah, I think he maybe just lost his edge in them final few laps there, and unfortunately for Dave the Arp, getting stuck in that pack once again, and just a couple of unforced errors of just. I mean, I really did think that Dave the Arp were going to win that in the first 10 laps. I thought it were easy going to be going his way.
Yeah, definitely. So. Quick mention as well that by the looks of it, Steve F1 and Jason both didn't actually finish the race, unfortunately. But De Minaur does take the victory, starting the Red Bull Junior Championship the way he started the Toyota SFR Championship, with a victory. DGT League SGP taking second place. That's great for him. But yeah, Twilight, and to be fair, SRI probably drives of the day, because it sounds harsh to say, but we weren't expecting them to be in third and fourth, and SRI actually qualified in 12th place, but I did hear it's because he was trying to fix a technical fault during qualifying, so he never really got to put a lap in. But still, to go from 12th to 4th with all that drama going on around him, that's a great drive.
It were a great drive. But yeah, fantastic. What a way to start the new championship in the Red Bull Junior. Absolutely fantastic. And got to say, I know there's been a livery video out there, but there were some fantastic liveries, and I especially like the green Jaguar that De Minaur's driving.
I wonder why that might be. I don't know who made it for him. I'm not sure.
No,
although somebody does need to do something about Fluffy's car.
Oh, God, yeah, that's an abomination on track.
It is, but I have heard there is a reason to it, and it was to do with some kind of jokey comment that was made in a chat group about something to do with pink, so he decided to make his car pink. But I'm sure it'll be different for the next race, because I'm sure SGP and Hulkenberg will not allow him to go unliveried for the remainder of the season.
Indeed.
The two
I think as well, another thing to mention, I were really looking forward to seeing Iceman out on track, and I don't think we heard anything from him, which is a bit odd. Hopefully we will do in the future.
Yeah, I mean, from what I gather, he was expected to be racing this evening. I'm not sure what's happened there. I do know one of the new drivers, which is Dexy Drum, realised about 10 minutes into the race that he'd missed the race. So I suppose with a bit of a break between championships, it is possible to do that. But I do know that there are a couple of new drivers that should be involved this championship, so it'll be interesting to see how they get on. But yeah, Iceman, I have no idea how he gets on in this car. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, if you just looked at the race result, which I will have a look at in a moment, but if you just looked at the race result, you'd go, okay, De Minaur's going to win again, and SGP's going to come second again, and then from third down it's anybody's. But that'd be wrong to read it that way. From what we've seen in the test sessions, I mean, let's put it this way, I've witnessed a number of test races in these cars with the drivers, and I have not seen the same person, and like with the test races it's been at the Red Bull Ring, I've not seen the same person win back-to-back races.
Yeah, as well, I'm feeling a bit gutted because I did put a cheeky bet on before the start of the race that Dave the Arp were going to win that, and because just due to form on pre-season, it's just been so rapid in that Red Bull. I expect him to come back strong next week. I
mean, Dave the Arp, he did have a phenomenal qualifying session. I mean, his lap time, I'm not sure exactly what it was, but I do remember he did have nearly a second advantage over everybody else. So that's how quick he was in qualifying. and in the first stint he was showing that pace again. I'm wondering whether, seeing how much of an undercut other drivers got on him, not necessarily played on his mind, but worked its wiggly way in there.
Yeah, bugged him during the race when he ended up in the pack. It must have been frustrating knowing they had such a gap at the start. But unfortunately, that, as we say every single week, it's all about. It's not only down to driver skill, but it's also down to luck. Because sometimes, if you end up in a situation where you're in a pack and you're boxed in, there's nothing much you can do, and then if something happens in the pack where you get took out, that can pretty much destroy your race.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to Demon R recently, and he was telling me a story about a race in Bathurst where he was going round a corner and he just said the words, "I'm glad I heard you coming," and then he got wiped out after that. So yeah, luck can work in miracles ways. It
definitely can do, and I don't know who the offending driver was there, but anyway. Anyway, let's forget about that. Forget about it.
I mean, what I will say is, though, as well, I mean, obviously we've waffled on a little bit here. These Red Bull Junior cars are absolutely phenomenal once you get used to driving them. The Red Bull Junior track, the turns 1, 2 and 3 are not very nice for that car. The rest of the track, it's lovely. But because turn 1, 2 and 3 are very important corners on that track, it doesn't really show the full nature of what that car can do. However, at the likes of the next track, which is the Brazil Grand Prix circuit, that car is really going to show what it's capable of doing, because there are a number of corners around that track. Turn 6, for example, where I know in the Toyota SFR Championship it was a very tricky corner, but in these cars they can take it just about flat out. That's the ability of these cars. So
it would be nice to see drivers go side by side through turn 6. That would show you how good these cars are.
Yeah, and for the likes of Steve F1, who's unfortunately not had the greatest of races here, the luck has definitely not gone his way. When we think back to the race at Brazil in the last championship, he pulled off some phenomenal overtakes around that track. So it looks like for him we're going from a track that he doesn't really like to one that he really does.
Yeah, so I definitely think, even though a little bit like in Formula 1, it looks like same old, I really do think that Demon R and SGP have definitely got a lot of competition this year.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay, right. I think it's time to have a look at the confirmed race finishing order and the first championship standings of the season. Here we go then for the first confirmed race result of the championship. But first of all, quickly mention that there were a few reports about a few incidents during from the race. So I'll quickly run through those. Let's see, Groover, a -3 point penalty for a lap 1 turn 1 collision causing an incident. Jason, a -3 point penalty for a lap 13 incident forcing a car off track. And then we have a -3 point penalty for James Hulkenberg for lap 20 turn 3 causing an incident. I think that was the one where James said Steve moved under braking, and I thought Steve was going for an overtake, so it looks like the stewards have disagreed with James. But okay, let's have a look at the proper result. So Demon R looking a little bit into the victory there and taking the maximum 20 points for DGT League. SGP finishing in second. Twilight, as we mentioned, first podium for him in third place, and then DGT League SRI in fourth. Great result for him. Hulkenberg finished fifth, but will get a -3 point penalty, so it will only be 9 points that he scores. And then Dave the Harp finished in sixth. Fluffy Planet on his debut finished in seventh, with Jay Bunsell in eighth, Rich Blues in ninth, Formula Gary in 10th, Groover in 11th, and Steve F1 did not finish along with Jason, which means that Jason starts the season off on a minus score, unfortunately. Okay, let's take a quick look at the championship standings, which shouldn't be that different to this. Okay, it is a tiny little bit different, only a few adjustments. So Demon R on 20 and then SGP 17, Twilight with 15, SRI on 13, Dave the Harp takes 10 points, Fluffy Planet 9, Hulkenberg 8, Bunsel 8, Rich Blues 7, Formula Gary 6, Groover 2, Steve F1 didn't score, and Jason got a -3 point penalty. Dex wasn't able to make the race, neither was Iceman, Rodders, GT5 King or Tyler. Hopefully they'll be able to make the rest of the races. Anyway, make sure you come and join us for round 2, which will be from the Brazil Grand Prix circuit for another 40-minute race. And if you do want to get involved in a GT Sport League, check out the Dynamic GT League on Facebook. See you again soon.